This is the person who helped me at the tomb, my lord.
Lord Vivek, we don't need the help of this outlander.
Oh hush, Archcanon Tarvis. Outlanders have their usefulness, and this one intrigues me.
As you say, I'll be in my office if you need me.
Step forward, friend of Lavul, and let us speak. Canon Level says you helped him in his mission. As I have written, the one who helps my ally becomes my friend. Despite the Archcanon's concerns, I greet you with sincerity and pose a simple question. Will you assist us further, Outlander? I have ordinators and armigers at my disposal. Vast armies of followers and dedicated priests. What I don't have, however, is a fresh perspective. Will you set aside your personal goals for a time and become the eyes and ears of a god? Good. I need assistance to investigate a strange phenomenon that the Ancestor confirmed may indeed be a problem. We'll start with a simple divination ritual. Archcanon Tarvis can tell you what we need to delve into this mystery. The Daedric Prince. I suppose the same events that concern me might interest Azura, though she could just as easily be the source of these troubles. Red Mountain, strange Daedra, and then there's... well, we'll talk more about that when you return. Levul's ancestor assured me that a source of power remains safe. As for the rest, let the guess ripen in the mind, and only speak when the fruit grows certain. I require more information on these matters, hence the need for the divination ritual. The situation that troubles me has taken a toll on my Archcanon, but he's a faithful servant. Tarvis will do as I say, and I say we need your assistance. Find the Archcanon in his office, and he'll tell you how to proceed.
Ah, Outlander. Lord Vivek trusts too much to put his faith in one such as you, but who am I to question my god? I suppose he sent you to me so I could put you to work. Did he say which task he wants us to accomplish first? Ah, yes. We do need to perform a ritual to reveal the nature of the phenomenon that vexes Lord Vivek. Now listen closely. I hate to repeat myself. Despite my objections, Vivek believes you were sent to help, so I'll do my best to assist you. Go to the ziggurat that's still under construction and tell the Overseer that Lord Vivek requires the Blessing Stone. Then bring it to me in the palace. You receive a simple errand in the service of Lord Vivek, and countless questions form unbidden in your mind. Very well. Go ahead. Ask your questions. It's not like I'm the busy arch-canon of a living god or anything. Ah, the ignorance of Outlanders. How refreshing. The Blessing Stones serve as repositories for small amounts of Lord Vivek's power. They allow his favor to permeate sanctified locations. We need such a stone to power the divination ritual. If you haven't guessed yet, the phenomenon interferes with Lord Vivek's power in unusual ways. It will be safer for everyone if I perform the ritual by using the Blessing Stone instead of drawing on my Lord's personal store of energy. Even if I told you, you wouldn't comprehend it. Lord Vivek's senses eclipse those of mere mortals. Suffice it to say, he feels a disturbance in the flow of energy throughout Warden. He seeks to discover the source of that disturbance. Lord Vivek sees signs and portents everywhere. It's the poet at his core. I tend to be much more pragmatic. Sometimes a volcano is simply a volcano, and not a harbinger of doom. As for the daedra, offend me? You give yourself too much credit. No, I feel the same about all Outlanders. This is tribunal business, best handled by tribunal resources. However, I also obey my Lord Vivek, so I will tolerate your involvement and do my best to aid you.
This project has been nothing but one disaster after another. How am I expected to get this ziggurat built on time when things constantly go wrong? Don't mind me. I'm just having one of those days. Our Blessing Stone? Do you know what happens if we give up our Blessing Stone? Well, neither do I, but I'm sure it won't put us back on schedule or end our string of disasters. I'm not one to disagree with the Archcanon, but that's a terrible idea. Lord Vivek? Why didn't you say so? But I'll need your help before I can turn over the Blessing Stone. The passage that leads to the consecration chamber collapsed, trapping some of my workers. If you can clear the way, you can borrow the stone. I appreciate the help. Just remember that you're only borrowing the stone. It needs to be back in the consecration chamber before the next shift, or we'll never get this ziggurat constructed in time.
Thank you. I'll go tell the Overseer what you did for me. me.
Please, Vivek! The Outlander returns. I understand there was trouble at the construction site, but you were able to save a few of the workers. Lord Vivek always draws the straightest arrow from the quiver. Praise the tribunal. Did you bring the Blessing Stone? And reveal the source of Lord Vivek's distress. Clockwork mage. A Daedric cultist. Something interfered with the ritual, my lord. But we may have learned something. Excuse me while I compare the results to our previous research.
Between the cryptic warnings of the ancestor spirit and the unexpected result of the divination ritual, I fear there may be more astir than I imagined. We solved the greatest mysteries by accident, I suspect. I should write that down. We learn from every action we take. Failure or success, each result teaches us something, at least in the larger sense. To be more specific, no, not as much as I hoped. Images that suggest avenues to investigate. Riddles to solve. Let me tell you a secret, Outlander. It concerns a living god, an energy that fades like daylight as dusk spreads across the land. Listen well, and speak not a word. My divine energy, it drains away. Whether from illness or foul malady, I know not. You must travel the land and seek answers on my behalf. But first, gratitude before service, as I have written. So thank you. The ritual confirmed my worst fears. Divine energy flows out of me for no reason that I can discern. I felt the power imbued within my blessing stone get wrenched away as soon as you added it to the ritual. I couldn't stop it. To quote my own words as the warrior poet, no lock exists that the determined thief cannot open. Follow the trail of my missing energy, and try to discover the identity of the enemy Lavul's ancestor warned us about. Something drains my energy. Find Archcanon Tarvis in his office, and ask if he gleaned anything useful from the ritual. If not, I know his earlier research indicated new avenues to investigate. Go where he tells you, and learn what you can. My divine energy diminishes with every passing moment, but the ritual confirmed my affliction is not natural. I regret that I could not reveal the full nature of these dire circumstances until your trustworthiness had been demonstrated. Yes. While Archcanon Tarvis has always been cautious about ideas and ideologies that didn't originate within the Tribunal. And recently, that prudence has grown 1,000-fold. He's a faithful servant, however, despite his narrow-mindedness.
I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... Well, I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivec told you? Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the Tribunal was incapacitated. It's true. I'm much better at scholarly pursuits than field work, and the ritual wasn't a total failure. It confirmed 3 locations from my earlier studies: Bolmora, Aldrin, and Barrelzar's Tower. I need you to investigate each of these sites. Haven't you left yet? The sites at Bolmora, Aldrin, and Barrelzar's Tower aren't going to investigate themselves. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivec City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivec thinks you're the best one for that job.
Behold, citizen.
Such displeasure and disappointment. Nothing works, even though every calculation is precise. Now an interruption. How infuriating. Wait. Sometimes the great gear turns from frustration to opportunity. Divine energy. I'll have you know I participated in Lord Sother Seal's 9 analyses of the Exalted Enigmas. But we have more important matters. I'm about to determine the correlation between color and time, and I could use another set of hands. A reciprocal exchange. Interesting, yes. I can see the benefits of such an arrangement. Very well. Just activate the crystals in the proper sequence while I modulate the energy flow. Less chance of an explosion that way. reset the mechanism and try again. You activate the crystals. Look for pure light, not muddled. I'll modulate the energy fluctuations, make sure nothing explodes. If color confounds you, look at the shape. Fewest sides to most. But the great gear turns, so be quick, be quick. Good help is as rare as the legendary Last Dwemer, but a clockwork is only as strong as its weakest cog. Just work your way up the rainbow. If the color isn't clear, examine the crystals. Start with the simplest shape and end with the most complex. Keep going. Far so good. Such are the benefits of an extra set of appendages. The energy flows freely and without disruption, allowing the rods and the pistons to align in a most pleasing manner. Thank you. Now, why do you want to know about divine energy? Scent. How intriguing. I was just thinking about my former master, Sotha Seal, and the experiments we conducted. He desperately sought to understand the power he and his companions attained, especially whether or not that power was temporary. Not while I assisted him. He had a tool that he used to drain away minute bits of his own divine energy to store and study. He could extract it and return it as he saw fit. Not sure what became of the tool, but here are my notes from those days. More questions? Well, Lord Sotha Seal attributed curiosity to intellectual superiority. Suppose I should do the same. Ask, and I will attempt to tighten the cogs of your ongoing education as best I can. Odd question. Is a hammer a weapon? A saw? A Dwemer spring spanner? No, it was just a tool. A device crafted by Sotha Seal to aid in his endless experiments. Suppose I could imagine ways to modify the device, but for what reason? Haven't a clue. Tools have a way of wandering off when you don't stay vigilant. Had a guar that used to swallow tools when I wasn't looking. Glowed for a month until the enchantment dissipated and the tool passed. Should have heard the screams. He's the father of mysteries and the architect of time. One of the tribunal. The three living gods of the Dark Elves. Creates all sorts of helpful and intriguing devices, like the Clockwork City. I haven't seen my old master in many years. It's a wonder and a miracle. Oh, brass tunnels, glass domes, and giant gears. He was inspired by the work of the Dwemer. The Clockwork City is pure Sotha Seal. He made it to forge the future and reshape the world. I learned a lot there.
I can't believe they want us to go outside the house to find Vea.
I love seeing new faces. For a while, it was just the same old miners and the occasional traveling merchant. Thought Caroline might have to shut this place down. Look at me talking your ears off. What can I get you? At first, I assumed it was the usual house squabbles. Redoran and Hlalu arguments can get pretty heated. Then I thought maybe the Ashlanders were scaring people off. But after that proclamation... No, I'd rather not talk about that with a stranger. I like the color of your gold, Outlander. Just between us, I heard the House Guard shut down the Shulk ore mine. Something to do with violent cultists who attacked the miners and took over the place. Even got the crew chief, or so I heard.
Your custom is welcome.
Stop weaving!
Ah, another member of our ranks. It's times like these when I love the Fighters Guild. What's the Fighters Guild? What rock did you just crawl out from under? We're an elite fighting force with allegiance to no one but our fellow guild members. You look like you'd be good in battle. What do you say? Want to join the guild? Then welcome aboard, and let me be the first to say what a fine addition to the guild you're going to make. With you at our side, we'll have the Daedra on the run in no time. Reward? You mean besides the thrill of battle and the glory that accompanies it? Our members can learn special techniques, and as you advance in rank, the Guildmaster might call upon you to deal with important missions. Why, we fight, of course. It practically says it all right in our name. Seriously, someone has to deal with the Daedric menace and protect the common folk from the creatures of oblivion. That's our current mandate, and an important mandate it is.
Stupid dog.
What happened? Let me see.
I just tried to pet it.
You shouldn't be here. Didn't you read the House Redarin proclamation? I wouldn't be here myself, but some of my miners are still in there. Our mine was invaded by violent cultists. They showed up and just took the place over. My people are trapped. I'm no expert, but it looked like the cultists were preparing to conduct a ritual before the Ashlander interrupted them. You shouldn't be here. Our mine was invaded by violent cultists. Probably because I heard one of them say, "With this ritual we'll call forth a mystical weapon and attain the power of a god." Or something along those lines. Look, I was just trying to get me and my miners out of there when the Ashlander showed up. Really? That's awfully brave of you. If you see any of my miners, tell them to get their arses out here. I'll wait as long as I can. Or until I hear screaming. Then I'll go to Balmora and try to find some help. Good luck in there.
Find out about the relic.
You don't
look like one of those crazy cultists, and you certainly aren't one of our miners. So by Vivek's holy nose hairs, who in Oblivion are you? Really? Then forget I said anything about His Holiness's nasal preening. They're some sort of Daedric cultists. They've been performing rituals, calling forth divine power, some such nonsense. At least they were, before the Ashlanders showed up. The savages barged into the deep chambers, seemed to know about the hidden passage and everything, stole the relic the cultists were praying over, and ran for the hills. As a matter of fact, that's where I'm going, as soon as it's safe to leave. Thieves lurk nearby.
Did you find what you were looking for in the mine? Of course. I perfectly understand. I think I'll wait a little longer and see if any of my miners were able to escape from the cultists. Good luck with your mission, whatever it is.
I demand to see my brother. Lay hands upon me, and you will lose them. You there! The territory of the Red Exiles shouldn't be traveled lightly. Ashlanders once respected each other, helped one another. You'd think these were house wolves or tribunal dogs, the way they treated me. Speaking of the tribunal, you have the smell of dog about you. I wonder why that is. Lord Vivec, is it? And I thought all the tribunal cared about was building monuments to their own greatness. Nice to see that one of them cares about what's going on beyond their borders. Well, perhaps we can aid each other this day, Outlander. Ashlanders are nomads, but we gather at sacred sites to trade, confer, and pay homage to the past. Aldrin is such a place. That's why Chodala invited the Red Exiles here. But these outcasts won't let me into their camp. I need to find my brother. My brother, Chodala, is the Ashkan of our tribe, and I am his ambassador. I act as a go-between among the tribes. Chodala wants to unite the Dunmer and calmly end the era of the bickering houses. He hopes to convince the tribes to follow his lead. Head into the Red Exiles camp and find my brother. Otherwise, see if you can find out what he was doing in there and where he's gone. Be wary of the outcasts. As you saw, they won't hesitate to attack without reason or provocation. You seem to have survived your visit to the Red Exiles camp. Did you find my brother? Interesting. I never suspected that the outcasts were disciplined enough to keep records such as this. Oh no. I can't believe my brother would be so... brazen. It means that Chodala really has changed. With his newfound powers and rising ambitions, I fear what he plans for the tribes. I suppose you have a right to know what I'm talking about. Take this.
I found it among my brother's possessions. Chodala discovered new power out in the wilderness, and it changed his view of the world. He writes about it in that document. Now he believes he's the Nerevarine, and incites the tribes, while I try to keep them all from doing anything rash. You don't know? I thought... No, you're not an Ashlander, and the House Elves rarely talk about such things. Long ago, there was a hero named Nerevar. He fought alongside the Tribunal, before they claimed to be gods, until they betrayed him. So our legends say. Nerevar united the Kaima, and forged an alliance with the Dwemer. He died at the Battle of Red Mountain. We believe the Tribunal hastened his demise, despite Vivek's claims to the contrary. The Nerevarine is a promise and a prophecy. We believe that, through the power of Azura, Nerevar will return to unite all Dunmer, House and Ashlander alike, and make Morrowind great again. The returned Nerevar will be known as the Nerevarine. While the prophecy of the Nerevarine can be interpreted as the end of the Tribunal, I have always seen it as a prediction of hope and peace. Chodala and some Ashlanders, such as the Red Exiles, favor war. That's not the Nerevarine I believe in. He uses an Ashkon's words to plant dark ideas in his followers. Ideas that speak of false gods, lost traditions, and the need for a cleansing war. His words become more forceful every day, but I hope to dissuade him from this violent course. All I know is that his new power frightens me. Chodala returned from a sojourn in the wilderness more vibrant, more commanding. He's always been strong, but now he's fearless, practically invincible, and swifter than the fastest Ashlander scout. Chodala says his new abilities strengthen his claim as the Nerevarine. I think it's the staff he carries. He had it when he returned, and now it's always at his side. I know it's unreasonable, but I hate that staff. He calls it Sunara. You don't know? I thought... No, you're not an Ashlander.
Outlander, over here! At last. Did you see what's happening outside? Red Mountain rumbles louder and more frequently. The sky grows dark, and worst of all, the people are beginning to notice. Soon I'll have to muster the Ordinators to keep them from the palace doors. In part, Lord Vivek is not well. I won't allow his followers to see him in this state. He continues to lose energy, and it's becoming difficult for him to maintain the realm in his usual fashion. Now, what did your investigations uncover? I'll review these documents and present your findings to Lord Vivek. I was against bringing you into this investigation, but I was wrong. Thank you for aiding us. You should go see Lord Vivek now. He's been asking about you. I'll be along shortly. Very well. Tell me what you learned at each of the locations, and let's see what conclusions we can come to. From what you discovered, I dare say there may be a correlation between the narcotic relic and the tool barrels I mentioned. And it seems the Ashlander thieves are connected to Chodala. Your evidence points to a clear conclusion. So it appears. Lord Vivek's doing his best not to complain, but I can see how much the draining of his energy has cost him. Just seeing you again should improve his mood considerably. And the progress you made with your investigations, outstanding. Barrelzar faithfully served Sotha Sil. He's as loyal to the Tribunal as I am. He would never intentionally harm Lord Vivek. But that tool he mentioned. Perhaps one of the priests Vivek sent away could search the temple archives for more information. Lord Vivek doesn't want his followers to see him in such a weakened state. Only you, Canon Levuel, and myself are permitted into his palace now. Speaking of the palace, Lord Vivek wants to see you when we're done here. So your notes say, and this Saren assisted you. Interesting. Most Ashlanders want nothing to do with the Tribunal. Even so, they rarely become aggressive. I'd say this Chodala bears watching. If we can spare it, I'll send an armiger to Warden. Interesting theory. Perhaps Chodala's staff can steal Vivek's energy. I have a hard time imagining how an Ashlander could accomplish such a feat. Lord Vivek said the draining has grown more intense since you left. It doesn't look well.
I demand you make way and let me see Lord Vivek.
Lord Vivek isn't receiving visitors today. My lord, please let me send for aid. Perhaps one of the healers can help you.
Pain is best tolerated in private. As I have written in the 37th ballad.
There must be something I can do.
You can call the Archcanon. He should hear the news our friend brings us. The river drains into the sea as my divinity flows out of me. Needs some work. As you can see, I continue to lose energy, and it has made me somewhat agitated. Have you made any progress toward discovering the source of my discomfort? An Ashlander? That seems unlikely, but I trust your instincts. We need to find out more about this Chodala and the ancient enemy that aids him. Take this. Another token of my appreciation. And look, here comes the Archcanon now.
My lord, the Outlander may have actually discovered something. After further examination of the documents you brought back, I have to agree with your assessment. The Ashlander Chodala has somehow siphoned divine energy away from Lord Vivek. Not exactly. But now that we know that the affliction isn't natural, we can work toward a solution, one that probably involves Chodala's staff. How the Ashlander got his hands on Sothasil's tool and turned it into a weapon is beyond me, though. Eventually, but we need to be cautious. If Chodala is as respected as you say, attacking him would start a war we can't afford to partake in. Go to Aldrin and talk to his sister, Saren. I don't trust her either, but she worked with you before. Get to Aldrin and locate Saren. She needs to tell us more about Chodala, and then help us acquire his staff. Without it, we can't restore Vivek. Meanwhile, I need to placate the populace. The people grow concerned over Vivek's continuing isolation.
May I help you?
Welcome to the Guild Hall, Knowledge Seeker. What brings you here today?
We're book hunters of a sort. We seek out new information, capture it in our libraries, and make copies for distribution across Tamriel. The Guild doesn't care about battlefields or boundaries, just knowledge and the acquisition of new tomes. We are neutral in the war between the three alliances. When we're on Guild business, we kneel to no king or queen. That's why you'll see members of every race in our halls. Excellent. You are now a student of the Mages Guild. Every book you find will now earn you reputation in the Guild.
Temple flares at the smallest of bands. Snatch our guas, mangle our fans. Nest in our lofts, break down on the wall. Tear up our roofs like a midsummer squall. Frighten our children and make the big fall. Promise you'll never change. Cliff strider, stride so high. On fiery crags, you touch the sky. Cliff strider, stride so high. Screech loudest.
Outlander, quickly! This way! I've been thinking about my brother's claim that he's the Nerevarine since we last spoke. No matter how I try, the word tastes false on my tongue. And now I fear he's about to convince the wise woman that his quest for power will benefit the tribes. My brother is respected and revered. He has allies in all of the tribes, not to mention his personal Red Exiles. We have to proceed with caution. Respect the Ashlander customs and traditions. Anything else will lead to violence and bloodshed. We talked to my brother. Tried to convince him this isn't the way. Barring that, we make sure the wise woman doesn't get drawn into his madness. Whatever Chodola says or does, don't attack him. We don't need a war between the houses and the Ashlanders. The wise woman. I was hoping she'd be here.
You're too late, dear sister. Despite your protestations, the wise woman has gone to the Cave of the Incarnate to confirm my claim.
Brother, do you really want to pursue this dangerous course?
There was a time when you gave me your unconditional support, Seren. I miss those days.
My brother Chodola is about to do something foolish and dangerous. But by dusk and dawn, Azura put you and I on the same path for a purpose. I just hope we have enough time. He's about to claim the title of the Nerevarine and try to unite the Ashlander tribes gathered here. He already convinced the Red Exiles to support him. He's using them to intimidate the other tribes. If he persuaded the Wise Woman to his cause... Wise Woman Dovrasi, the most respected counselor and spirit guide this side of Red Mountain. She went to the Cavern of the Incarnate to meditate on Chodola's claim. If she confirms my brother's assertion, the tribes will follow wherever he leads. Agreed, but I dare not leave Chodola alone with the tribes. I feel the hand of Azura in all this. Go to the Cavern of the Incarnate and talk to the Wise Woman. I'll stay here and try to keep things under control until you return. The cavern's to the northeast of Aldrin, on the other side of the mountain. Hopefully, the rumbling and lava won't slow you down too much. Get to the cavern and talk to the Wise Woman. If she accepts Chodola's claim about the Nerevarine...
She won't refuse my claim. Just in case, make sure the Red Exiles are ready.
Your word is law.
Tales of make-believe may scare off gullible travelers, but not me. Those ruins belong to me now. My people will be cleansing this curse in no time.
You will only join Galgala's collection of puppets. If we see you again, we will assume
These Ashlanders in a wild superstition. They speak of spirits who take the bodies of mortals as their own, using them as puppets. Half-truths and exaggerated nonsense to scare off fools. Do I look like a fool to you? That was rhetorical. A far-fetched tale, nothing more. I won't be scared off by stories or ghosts. Haunted or not, that's my land. You look more competent than the ghost hunters I commissioned. Perhaps you could ensure they don't wind up dead before their job is done? Oh, haven't the foggiest. My people will explain their needs when you find them. The details aren't my concern. I only care about results. Ensure they cleanse Valenvarion, the ruin east of here, and you'll be handsomely rewarded. Do we have a deal? Why are you still standing here? If I wanted to exchange gold for vacant stairs, I'd find a skooma den.
Expected. Maybe we should have gone with Farwen to set the wards.
Assuage your doubts, my friend. Farwen is a righteous woman who smites evil.
Lord Thonlin must have found us a bodyguard after all. You'd have to be crazy to wander around here with all the ghosts, unless you knew what you were doing. Lucky for you, this case seems standard. Just some mad spirits in need of final rest. Well, we have a name, Galgala. That'll help us call him out, find out what's ailing him and all that. That'll make things a little bit easier, so long as he's not one of those spirits that tries to possess people or something. Wait, what? That changes things. A lot. We've only dealt with a possession spirit once. We lost our friend Lonnie dealing with it. That bastard Thonlin said nothing about this. We need Farwen's ward set up, fast. She went to set her protection wards around the site. Standard practice is to scout for optimal placement. Find Farwen and make sure those wards get set. It should buy us time to figure things out. That'll be a start. Do what you need to in order to get Farwind back here safely. We can't waste any time. Possession spirits aren't to be taken lightly.
I see the ghosts are still on my land at Theo, and here you are just standing around.
Do not distract me, stranger. I am imploring the old gods to help me settle the restless spirits of this place, and it is a conversation only for the faithful. I must know exactly where to place my wards, or evil will prevail. My reputation precedes. I must apologize if you've come all this way seeking enlightenment. I would open your eyes to the truth of the old gods if we met under more pleasant circumstances, but now is not the best time. Your help is appreciated. I can fend for myself, but conjuring these wards is taxing, and establishing a spirit barrier is only the first step. I must continually channel the flow of magic to maintain it for any extended period of time. The wards must align around a focal point as near to the haunting as we dare. Poorly placed, the spirit barrier could appear in an undesirable location. Inside solid rock, for instance, and I'll only have the strength to attempt this once. A body shifter? Old gods protect us. Not everyone survived our last brush with something like that. I must pray. There. The old gods have lit the way. I shall follow you and save my strength for my magics. Not good. These blocks move on to where our wards need to be placed. The old gods show us
so many. Who shall be my favorite?
It's done. The spirit knows what we're up to. We need to hurry before it decides to stop toying with us. More ghosts. They must be under the sway of the body shifter. You only see what we had soon.
Interesting pair. More lively than the other ones. More vital. I look forward to wearing your skin.
This evil has lingered here for a very long time. But have faith that the old god's power is far older. on. Clear the way and we'll be safe soon enough.
Hopeful smile. I'll have to practice it.
My righteous friend, what are you doing with your
Well,
hands?
at least the ward is keeping the spirits out for now. Which is good, considering we're nothing more than vessels to them. I'm not ready to give up my body just yet. Still some good years in this one. But where's Farwen? She must be with you. We have to get her back, before it's too late. She's not lost. It's no easy thing casting a living soul from its body. We have time, but she's not the only one in danger. This shield won't last very long without Farwen channeling magic to it. I don't suppose he offered us a handy map or some directions to where he's hiding. No, of course not. This damn spirit wants to use one of our own against us. Well, two can play at that. If we can lure a spirit into this ward, we'll have it under our control. Temporarily, anyways. We'll be able to question it. If the spirit is bound to this Galgala, it'll be compelled to tell us where he hides. By breaking it down to its very essence and then rebuilding it again. I need you to destroy these spirits until you find one powerful enough that its essence remains. Bring that essence back to us, and we'll do the rest. Place the essence in the circle here. We're ready to... Rise up, spirit, and be bound to my command.
Why do you summon me, vessels?
Vengeful spirit, you will tell us where your master holds our friend.
Silence, weaklings. I will speak to the one who brought me here.
Wait, that's not how this is supposed to work.
Yes, you are strong. I understand Galgala's interest now. You will make a fine vessel. Ask what you will, but our time is short. Determine your questions wisely. Ha ha ha. Galgala does not hide, but a good first question. He is not here. This ruin merely acts as a dungeon for his captive souls. You will know it soon enough. His fortress is near, if you look closely. The lava pass under the bridge of stone. She clings to her shell. Our master likes to toy with his puppets before their end. I remember my death vividly. If Galgala were to be defeated, I'd not be saddened. But there would be consequences. Last question. Choose carefully. Your friend will die soon. Destroy Galgala's vessel, and his essence will seek safe harbor in her weakened body. His power will sustain it, and she will live, buying her a few more precious years. If she's strong enough to suppress him. I'm sure you do. I'd like to see how this ends, but alas.
There goes our ward. Guess Farwin's spell could only hold so long without her being here.
Ward or not, I expect my land to be cleared, and soon.
We sure are out in the open now, aren't we? I hate to admit it, but we're in over our heads. We have to do something to get Farwin back, but you heard what the spirit said. Shars and I aren't warriors. There's no way we're defeating Galgala. I mean, I know you're supposed to be our bodyguard. I just didn't expect we'd need the position to be taken quite so literally. You know what? I'm going to let you do your job. I might even know where Galgala is. Right. We passed it on our way here, just south. I'll mark it for you. Go and do whatever it takes to save our friend. Farwin's strong. If anyone can deal with an evil spirit in them, it's her. It's too dangerous to stick around without the wards. We'll drag Lord Thonlin back to safety, kicking and screaming if we have to. I don't care about the money, just save Farwin. But if you do banish Galgala, we'll have means to celebrate with. All right, team. We're packing up and heading back to town. Our friend will handle it from here.
What? What are you talking about? You've hardly done anything.
as a friend, but we will be very close soon.
Am I free? I was a prisoner. I can't think. I had to get away. I feel better now. The pain, it's fading. I feel so light, drifting away. Am I dead? Galgala. Yes. His presence is all around, smothering. I need to rest. I'm so tired. Just let me lie down for a moment. I have to stay awake. My body feels so heavy, but gods, it hurts. I can feel him clawing at the back of my eyes. I don't know that I can do this. I don't know. Finish me. End my life before this spirit can take control. I don't want to be his puppet. What do you know of my gods? The irony. My fate left in the hands of my faith. I want to live, divines. You hear me? I am going to live. He's quiet now. He's quiet. Get out of here.
Azura is my shield, you foul creatures. Thank you for aiding me, but I sense you came for a different purpose. Let's talk inside the cavern. Surely there must be another way. No, my lady, of course not. I'll do as you ask. Come here, Outlander. We must talk. It feels strange to talk to an Outlander in such a sacred place, but the Queen of the Night Sky insists. I need to render judgment on an important claim, and she says you can help me reach the correct decision. Words of truth from the mouth of an Outlander. Remarkable. The Red Exiles and a few others believe that Chodala is the Neraverian. He's convinced them, but not me. I came here to consider my options. I fear a bloodbath if I oppose his claim. Perhaps, but I must remain impartial. If someone else reveals the flaws in Chodala's claims by comparing him to the failed incarnates, that might do the trick. We thought the incarnates were possessed by the spirit of Nerevar, but each had a critical flaw that made them destined to fail to fulfill the prophecy. Their spirits reside here. Yes, you should speak to the incarnates. I see Azura's wisdom now. Take this pouch of blessed grave dust. Sprinkle a pinch upon the bones of the incarnates to call forth their spirits. Return to Aldrin after you have learned all you can. Perhaps we can curb Chodala's ambitions before they lead us to war. We need knowledge to defeat Chodala, Outlander. Listen well to what the failed incarnates have to say.
We are the failed incarnates, the Ashlanders who proudly proclaimed themselves to be the Neraverian, but were found wanting. The Lady of Dawn and Dusk urged us to cooperate. So ask your question, Outlander. Take my scroll and help the wise woman see the lie of unbridled power. I thought myself the reborn Nerevar, for I was the strongest, most powerful warrior in all the land. But power alone won't save my people. In the end, it couldn't even save me.
Nerevarin remains a promise unfulfilled, and I am as guilty of prideful posturing as every other failed incarnate that occupies this hall. Ask your question and let's be done with this, Outlander. The Nerevarin must listen as well as proclaim. I refuse to accept wise counsel, which led to the doom of my tribe and the end of my quest to embody the spirit of Nerevar. Take my scroll and remind the wise woman that wisdom ignored is ignorance.
Once I was the hope of my people, but then my claim was proven false. Now I wait, and I hope for the Nerevarion's return. State your question, Outlander, and I shall do as Azora urges. To fulfill the prophecy, I followed a path of blood and war. In the end, my path became a road that led nowhere, and I was cast down from my lofty spot. Take my scroll, and help the wise woman understand the futility of a senseless war.
Mortal, let us speak. I foresaw your usefulness before you even set foot in Vardenfell. Now comes a test that will challenge your ability to separate truth from lies. You must convince the tribes that Chodola is not the Nerevarine. Doversee's wisdom outshines most other mortals. She recognizes the futility of Chodola's claim. If she rebuffs him, however, the tribes will turn on each other, and blood will flow. The staff, Sunra, it makes Chodola confident, reckless. Your instincts served you well. Chodola's path took a dark turn. However, my sight clouds when I look too closely. Sothasil built Sunra, but he did not create it with this vile purpose in mind. You must act on my behalf, and Vivec's. Then go. Return to Aldrun and help the wise woman reveal the falsehood of Chodola's claim. And let Saren assist you. She is my champion and a trusted friend of all Ashlanders.
The moon and star, you've returned. The wise woman returned from the cavern of the Incarnate and went right into Scar to meet with the tribes. Chodal is in there too, about to be named the Nerevarine. Tell me you came back with something to stop my brother's rise to power. Ah, of course. Use the tales of the failed Incarnates to counter Chodal's arguments. That's brilliant. Well, except for one problem. An Outlander has no status in the Council. The Ashlanders won't listen to a word you say. Someone else has to present the arguments. Someone they trust. I suppose that means I have to challenge my brother. With your help, of course. You spoke to the Incarnates, not me. I'm familiar with their stories, but I'll need you to help me choose the appropriate argument to counter each of Chodala's claims. I hate to Incarnate Runso was strong and powerful. He thought that by strength alone, he could unite the Ashlanders. He failed. When Chodala proclaims his power, that's when we'll refer to this scroll's sad tale. Incarnate Ajiri was a champion of my people. She defended us against great threats. But when she grew to love war for war's sake, she proved she wasn't the Nerevarine. When Chodala proclaims that war is the answer, hand me this scroll. Meet me inside.
Must we continue this farce? It's obvious that I'm the Nerevarine.
Someone has stepped forward to challenge your claim, Chodala.
Seren, I'm disappointed in you, dear sister.
Enough. I shall hear your arguments and render my decision.
Even the Outlander can see that I'm the most powerful Ashkan. My strength alone proves that I am the Nerevarine.
Chodala puts forth his great strength as proof of his claim. Give me the scroll that discounts such a trait for the Nerevarine. Yes, that's a sound argument. Incarnate, appear!
As a warrior and as an Ashkan, I was the most powerful of my age. But for all my strength, I failed my people. Don't follow my example.
The faithless houses dare to threaten our land, but we shall meet them in battle, and I will lead us to victory.
This is more nerve-wracking than I anticipated. Which scroll do you recommend to counter this argument? That makes sense. I'll try that. Incarnate, appear!
I thought the path to the Nerevarine was a path of blood and battle, but my love of war was my undoing. War is not the way.
These failed incarnates prove nothing! I need no counsel but my own, as befits my status as the Nerevarine.
I think it's working. One more strong assertion, and that should do it. Of course. Let's see what happens. Incarnate, appear!
I refuse to accept the counsel of the wise women and the Ashkans. I thought I knew best, but I knew nothing. That is not the way of the Nerevarine.
Seren and the Outlander, their arguments have merit. Chodala, we deny your claim. You are not the Nerevarine.
This proves nothing! Look how the staff protects me! I am the Nerevarine! Red Exiles, slay the
Brother,
enemies.
no!
Circle around! Flank now!
Go to my hut and get my healer's sack. Now.
Right away, wise woman.
Mortal, I would have words with you. Chodala has been revealed as a failed Nerevarine, but that hasn't dissuaded him from his reckless course of action. As long as he wields the staff, he shall be unstoppable. Time is against you, mortal. Even now, Vivek, that pompous usurper, grows increasingly weaker. As much as I deplore him, Vivek cannot fall to Chodala's vile magic. There's another power at work here. One I can't quite put my finger on. Return to Vivek City. Do what you can to aid Vivek. And pay heed to my faithful vessel, Saren. I name her Champion of the Moon and Star. She will play a pivotal role in ending her brother's march toward godhood, if she survives.
That was exhilarating.
Ah, a fellow outsider in this inhospitable Sea of Ash. I wonder if we might help each other. Drellith Hilaron of House Redoran at your service. Though I doubt I'll be very useful here. This is Ashlander country, and they've made it clear I'm not welcome. It's my fault, really. I made a mess of their customs when I arrived. I'm researching for my family's ancestral tomb, you see. My research led me here, to Aldrin. It's hard to believe, but I think my family may have settled here for a time. When I arrived, I immediately started asking questions. I was overzealous. Unfortunately, yes. I wonder if we might aid each other. Despite my missteps, I do know a great deal about Ashlander culture. I could help you earn their favor. In return, you could find out if they know anything about my family's tomb. First, pay respect to Farsia Quanta. She walks the Red Path this year, and it's customary to wish her well. Request to take part in the offering to the first Ashkans. Do that, and you should be able to ask their wise woman about the tomb.
What's that? Perfume and incense. You have the stink of the great houses on you, Oathman. What brings a house Dunmer like you to Aldrin? Have you now? Then you have my thanks, and my curiosity also. Outsiders rarely show us such respect. When they do, it is always because they want something. What do you want, I wonder? Remarkable. You would honor our ancestors. Very well. I give you my blessing. You hesitate. Shall I explain the custom? Each of the 4 great tribes seek a unique and worthy offering. You must place the gift at the foot of each Ashkan's cairn. For Ahemusa, an ashen fern. For Erebenimsum, the weapon of an exile slain by your hand. For Urshilaku, the bones of a Gwar returned to ash.
And for Zainab, the hidden treasure of a Kwama queen. We will see how much fire you hold in your heart. Yes, though becoming is a clumsy word for it. Every daughter of Veloth has worth. When we learn to speak with our water tongue and read the truth in the stones, we also learn the truth of our hearts. The truth is, we have been wise all along.
Sit down and come here. Hope you're not looking for passage off the island. The crew's on shore leave, see? The permanent kind. Probably tripped over a few of them on the way in. Poor bastards. Ugly business. A deal gone bad. I work for an orc boss named Kartag. We're ropefish. People smugglers. Slaves pay us out the arse for a trip to the mainland. When the Kamana Tong found out, they wanted in. Kartag told them to tusk off. Yeah. Came down on us like an arse-branded ogre. We gave as good as we got. It wasn't enough. Kartag and a few slaves fled to the cavern. Kamana gangsters right behind. Without help, they're as good as dead. Don't suppose you're the heroic type? Oh, good on you for doing this, mate. Kartag's an idiot, but he doesn't deserve what the Kamana Tong will do to him. Like I said, he went in with some slaves. Mabkur, Jari Ito, and Wiwaska. You should drag them out, too.
there, slave. Unless you prefer to lose some fingers.
You'll not put me in chains again. No one will. Thank you, stranger. I was near to slitting my own wrists. If it's to be slavery or suicide, I'll take suicide. Thank you, stranger. Kartab told us to run. There was much shouting and confusion. Mobkir and Wiwaska ran one way, and I ran the other. I hope they fared better than I did. Those dry-skinned hoodlums almost killed me. Difficult to say. Slaves are a valuable commodity. I suspect they would either kill us outright or sell us back to our previous masters. The sum we paid to Kartag was meager. Too meager for the Kimona Tong, anyway. They will not take us home. Far less than he deserved. A turtle heart beats in Kartag's chest. Hard on the outside, but soft on the inside, you see? I hope he has not come to harm. Thank you, stranger. I was near to slitting my own wrists. Difficult, far less than Kartag told. Difficult, far less than he deserved. Thank you, stranger. Kartag told us to. Difficult to say. Far less than he deserved. But Kartab told us to... Difficult to say. Far less than he did. Thank you, stranger. I'm free, and in your debt.
Killed by a damned elf. What a way to go. Well, what are you gawking at, runt? You gonna finish me off or what? Looks like you came up short. It's poison, see? Dirty little shrimp douchey couldn't take me straight up. Had to poke me with a poisoned blade. Typical. Did the others escape? Jari and that lot? Moloch, I don't know. Maybe I didn't like the way they asked. Look, I'm no saint. Done a lot of things I ain't proud of. But I'll be damned if some tuskless thugs gonna make life even worse for these slaves. They've been through enough. You do that. You...
Please, Sarah, do not hurt me. Wait, who are you? You do not serve the Kamanatong. Oh, thank the Hist. You must help me escape. 2 others as well. If those Kamana thugs find us, they will flay us alive. Yes, I think so. Did you find Mobker? Jari? The Kamanatong were right on top of us. Jari fled one way. Mobker and I stayed close, but he slipped. I left him there. I knew it. I should never have left him. I can still see the look in his eyes. The terror. Hist, forgive me. I will. Thank you, friend. May Sithis guide your steps.
I can't believe it. Free!
There you are. I heard about Mabkir. Damn shame. Where's Kartag? Dragging arse as usual.
He's dead. Damn. At least he died knowing you'd rescued this lot. I'll keep smuggling slaves out of Warden, fell sure. And I'll make sure they know why, too. Take this. Gartok would want you to have it. Good luck on the road, friend. Dead.
Tamriel, stop, criminal!
Going to give me a sour look, eh? Well, the cost just went up. Cough it up, sweet. Better not have shortchanged me.
Red Mountain's particularly active.
As a god weakens, so too does his city suffer. I know my people grow fearful. Even the Archcanon is distressed. But the energy that remains to me holds the moonlit in the sky, at least for now. So what news does my eyes and ears bring to me? How this upstart Ashlander learned to attune Sothasil's tool confounds my understanding. And he dares use my power? Still, your help is appreciated. Every strike and parry takes us one step closer to ending this threat and restoring my vitality.
Due to Lord Vivek's condition, it falls upon us to find a solution. Lord Vivek must conserve his remaining energy, so we need to solve this problem on our own. It all comes back to Chodala. That damned Ashlander's draining the warrior poet's power. We need to stop him and get that damn staff. How should I know? That's not a skill the Tribunal teaches. Return to Barrowzar's tower and get Sothasil's former apprentice to come up with some kind of countermeasure. I'm sure he knows more than he's told you. I do have one concern, though. You see right through me, Outlander. I have more worries than a Kwama queen has eggs. I'm talking about Chodala's sister. Seren claims to want to help, to want peace, but I don't trust her. Seek out Barrowzar, but be wary of the Ashlander's sister. We need to stop Chodala, and to do that, we need to find a way to overcome the device he's wielding. Find Barrowzar and make sure that crazy mage provides you with something you can use to save Lord Vivek. Is the bull sure it can bed the Betty? No. But by all accounts, we'll be better off with Sunara in our hands and away from Chodala. That won't be possible, however, as long as the Ashlander remains impervious to every attack.
Another adventurer looking for work? Did you? Well, that's why it was posted. It's simple. Citizens tell us what they need, and we arrange for the job to be completed. You will be able to meet with the client before starting the task. They'll also have your reward, not us. Belleru Omeril and her brother Trelan will handle your assignments. Check in with them frequently to see if they have a job for you. They'll inform you what you need to accomplish and who made the request. I would hope. You came to us, after all. Trelan and Belleru are just down the hall. They should already have assignments for you. Speak to either of them to get started.
Current events have left the temple in need of additional resources. The requests I handle are citizens whose interests best align with the goals of the temple. You'll work with these individuals to help better Vardenfell. Are you interested? The Kwama miners of Martus Akin have developed a dangerous breeding method which produces highly aggressive Kwama. While their methods are questionable, we would still like to know more. What they've developed may ultimately turn out to be profitable. Confiscate an egg from the primary egg chamber and find some breeding research describing their methods. You'll also need to plant poison Kwama feed that will help control the mine's population. You may speak with Kailia Thando for more information.
Citizens hand in their request, I tell you what I know, and you take care of it. The person with the problem is usually more than willing to talk your ear off about it. The more people you can convince to help you with the job, the better. Dubdil Allah has always been a bit off his rocker, even for a Telvanni wizard. Apparently now things have gotten really out of hand. His apprentice Nara Varam needs help stopping whatever he's up to. And don't bother asking me what you need to stop. Head over to his tower and see what's going on. You've also been asked to collect any research notes you may find for the apprentice to study later. Varam can fill you in on the details. She'll also have your pay if you manage to complete the job.
like a giant, our tower of stone. It tosses and turns, pray it won't wake, and then without warning. A prayer.
Spread their wings so broad, and lesser birds
Oh dear. I do hope you've come about my request. It would be awful if those Quammas spread across Vardenfell. Those poor Quamma. I would never have the heart to cull them myself, but it must be done for the greater good. I know the temple has asked you to bring me research notes and an egg sample. If you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, poor Queenie. She's likely on her deathbed at this point, having been made to be productive far longer than is acceptable. I believe she's been put in some chamber we can't reach, connected to the mine through some smaller Quamma dug tunnels.
This is bad. This is very, very bad. You look well-traveled, friend. Are you, by chance, going to Sadrith Morrow? I can make it worth your while. Opportunity. Or that's what I thought, until I angered Devaith Fair by failing to deliver the special mushrooms he ordered on time. Lost the shipment. Now I'm in a bind. I have the mushrooms, but I'm afraid Fair will evaporate me for late delivery. You aren't at fault for the late delivery, so Fair shouldn't do anything to you. Won't do anything to you, I mean. I guarantee it. Besides, I'll let you keep the payment he owes me as well. I'd rather avoid the situation altogether at this point. You're saving my life here, friend. I don't dare refuse the order, but I also don't want to meet a displeased Telvanni.
Are you here about my request? We have to fix this before it's too late. I know all your clients have burdens to bear, but I'm speaking of the very fabric of Nirn here. Master Allah plans to perform an experiment that will alter the laws of our reality, and I need you to stop it. I require his research notes as well. We must prepare for the worst. Magic has long lingering and far-reaching effects. Perhaps Master Allah can find reason and stop this experiment, but if he cannot, then it falls to me to fix his mistakes. His notes will help me do that. His calculations have grown incomprehensible to me, his theories turned to ramblings. But I know what he plans to do goes against nature itself. There's no predicting the chaos his success may bring. We have to stop him before it's too late. I respected him. He was brilliant, always looking at all the possibilities, at the entirety of our existence. But he's discovered something dangerous, and I have a feeling someone led him down that dark path. His notes may tell me who.
What is it?